on the topic of pardons, I went back and read your op-ed that you wrote in November of 2019, which is it's 5 years ago, in the New York Times, comparing Andrew Johnson, who was famously the first president to be impeached, with the Trump thing. And I came to this paragraph, which I'm going to put up on the screen here, uh, where you say Johnson and Trump not only managed to diminish their office, but also engaged in actions that have dangerous repercussions for American democracy. Their crimes are not just specific impeachable acts, but also the systemic undermining of the rule of law, democratic governance, human rights, and national interest. Johnson pardoned nearly all high-ranking Confederates who had taken up arms against the United States government. In one case, he also pardoned a white Virginian who murdered a black man in broad daylight and looked the other way at reports of massacres of freed people and harassment of Southern white Unionists. Trump, against the advice of the DOD and the Navy, just pardoned the Navy SEAL Gallagher, basically who's a war criminal. So I read that, and I had forgotten about Johnson pardoning the leading Confederates, and I was like, oh man, this is like Johnson, sat out 4 years and got reelected, but worse somehow. Yeah, I don't know.
Yes, because
Absolutely.
we're living through it.
Yeah.
And we know better. We know better. And this is we're still doing this to ourselves. So
I think part of
I
it is real ignorance of the past. People don't know the history. Because I see that with my students, I don't preach a political line in my classroom because I know they're from differing political opinions. But I just tell them what happened in the past, and in terms of the light bulb goes on in their head. And I think a lot of people don't know that. As Trump says, he likes low information voters. He likes voters who are ill informed, undereducated, and who will go for all the
garbage.
yeah, just the performative aspect
Yeah.
that he has perfected.
Yeah.
The performative aspect as this celebrity, in order to rescue his bankrupt businesses. I think that movie, The Apprentice, I think one of the actors there is nominated for an Oscar recently, should be required viewing also for everyone to really know what Trump is made of.
Yeah.
Um, you keep hearing these weird stories about him and his family, and he does these weird things, and you wonder there must be some truth to this. Um, Ivana Trump, his first wife, saying that he kept a copy of Mein Kampf on his nightstand. And I'm like, I'm wondering now, Elon Musk running around doing the sort of hiling and doing the Nazi stuff. And it's pretty horrifying. And when you have that kind of strongman rule, they can pretty much ignore all our precedents, now la law, and the Supreme Court uh, is going along with it. The conservative majority, they don't go along with everything. Once in a while, they'll squeak a dissent. It's, again, a lot like the Reconstruction era Supreme Court. But when it really counts, they rule for him. And the
Yeah.
United
It's
States.
what he wants. It's payback time, baby.
That's what they're going to do that with this. He tried this thing about the birthright citizenship. That's never
Yeah.
going to, even the Supreme Court is going to be like, no, you can't do that.
I
Everyone
hope
will applaud John Roberts and woo,
yeah,
and that's where we're going to
just
be. And it's like, and then they'll do 18 horrible things right after that.
exactly. But Greg, I hope they do that. At this point, my expectation of this very corrupt and awful Supreme Court is so low that, I don't know. Like, look what they did with the Second Amendment with Heller, the
Yeah.
decision in Heller,
Yeah.
where they, all historians and all serious law professors who studied the Second Amendment said this is absolutely wrong. You're misinterpreting the 14th Amendment as an unrestricted right to bear arms for individual citizens when it
The
is
Second Amendment. Yeah. Yeah.
militias, right? And now we have a standing army. We don't need our militias to defend us. But the Supreme Court completely ignored the well regulated part and the militia part and made it manufactured this individual right unrestricted. You
They were
could,
going to do that no matter what.
yeah,
You don't make a ruling like Heller if you don't know before it even comes in what you're going to do.
that's true.
Um, yeah. So there's a lot of That court has been a problem for a very long time.